Hello and welcome back to another video with Amoalani. This is episode 6 of my Dwarf Fortress Let's Play Season 2. Now last episode we did have our traders come. We were unable to get everything from the traders that they brought. We didn't have enough value-wise. But that's okay. Now this episode I am going to actually close down our barracks there. We do have our militia is training, and they'll be training for all of autumn here. And we do have some things happening with the animals. So I'm going to focus a little bit here before we hit play on the animal floor. We do still have the peacock door closed off. We do have quite a few baby birds in there, but there's actually not that many females, and no females with good traits, really. We do have our adult female. One has no traits, and the other has one green and one orange trait. Now, our males, we've got, we do have a male with a strong trait here, and a male with no trait. So we don't have the best adults for the program, but we'll get there. We'll get there. Now we did have some dogs grow up, I think. Yep, we did. So we're gonna, with high stamina, but he's sickly. I think we are going to train him as a war dog. And let's grab. The reason why I name them like that is so that I can sort by name here and get stuff moved. So War Dog, we're going to move. And I think we'll also... this guy, the Resist Sickness, I think we'll leave him. So we've got two males in the program over here. And then we do have another dog over here. This one is tough with low stamina. So we'll also do War Dog on this one, I think. War Dog. We'll get them moved. Okay. And then there's one puppy left who we're just going to leave as part of the program. All right. So I think we did have... Yeah, we did have a pig grow up. So this one we're going to go ahead and butcher, because we don't have a ton of bones. Let's see here, the parents are good on. So this one we're actually going to gild. And click on the other. Yeah, okay. All right. Now I'm going to come back and I'm going to check out the cats here. So female with 2 good green. We've got one female with 1 green. That might be our only male cat. A female with 1 green. The cat here is a male cat. So this one we're going to relabel animals. And I'm going to check out the kittens here. So we're going to geld this kitten, rename it animals. And we're going to geld this kitten as well and rename it animals, I think. Let's see here. The male cat here is agile with low stamina, but he's 6 years old. You know, this one is agile and weak. We'll do that, just so that we have potentially another male cat here. We do have another female over here, okay. With, ooh, this is a male with 2 green traits. Okay, so this is going to be our male, which means this one can go animals, and we're going to geld. That being said, we're going to come up to the animal floor and we're going to do a new pen here. So we do have... And actually... Yes, we may get some vermin in there, but I don't really want the cats going in there because that's potentially going to upset the cats. That being said, we will... I'm going around the stairs. I don't want to include the stairs in the zone, but I want them to be able to walk around the stairs. And we are just going to include everything here. We'll have to remember to come back up once these areas are dug and include that in the zone. So, cat and animal floor. Alright, and then we are going to go ahead, and that's why we renamed them all animals, and we're going to move 3 of the cats up here. This pen is actually quite small, and for the amount of cats we're going to be getting, it's too small. And we're going to need cats in other areas. Alrighty. And I think we're going to hit play. And we're going to come down and check out, but yeah, they haven't really dug that out yet. They're kind of busy doing other things, and that's okay. And we do have a couple of our miners are now also training in our barracks here. So this first barracks, I actually do kind of want to start getting some. We're going to do a couple of armor stands. We'll do a couple of weapon racks. And actually, we'll do 3 armor stands, 3 weapon racks. And see how much Kimberlite do we have. We only have 9 on the Kimberlite. Okay. You know, we'll come in and we'll do work orders for those. Do armor stand and weapon rack. And we're going to do 4 and 4 out of Kimberlite. And we'll do Kimberlite. And we'll do that way. We're going to start getting our barracks furnished. Now we are going to come down, that being said, and we are going to do work order. We're going to do 10 beds. We'll actually make it 15 because we do actually want to add a couple more beds to our dormitory. And mining-wise, I think we'll get the rest of this mined here. And we'll just get them to actually come get the mining done. Now they are currently mining us out, and I do want them to finish doing that. And actually we're going to make that a 1. And we'll just get them to mine that out. Alright. Now we are actually going to come down, and I think... I don't know that I want the dining hall over here, and actually I'm fairly certain I don't. So that being said... You know, we're not quite ready for that. The very first floor that we are going to do bedrooms on is this barracks floor, and we'll also get a permanent dining room set up. We'll set it on a 3, actually. And I think 3. That's going to be the dining room. And I will just get the very first. We're going to come down like that, potentially. So here's the hallway. We're doing, I do like the size 4x4 for the bedrooms. Now, the one right next to the hallway, I don't mind that there's only the one space, because the hallway doesn't need value. So this wall will be kind of towards the bedroom, like it's not part of a zone. Okay, so we're going to do 4. And then we're going to do, so 7, 7. Okay. So 7. This is a noble's bedroom. So they are getting the fancier. Okay, and this is 21. Let me just get this framed out here. Okay, full on setup. So we're getting ready for each squad can have 10 members. So I'm setting up each row of bedrooms will be per squad. So there will be sort of the noble bedroom. Or do I want it on top? That's fine on bottom. Okay. And then and I know I said I wasn't going to get bogged down in bedrooms, and I'm still not. We're gonna go much slower on the bedrooms, but this is sort of one, as we get migrants in, they're going to be going into the military, and I am okay getting this dug out. One thing we are going to kind of look at as we get new migrants is we are going to set up a second squad, because I really would like to have one ranged, one melee squad. So we will look for, and actually, let me go in and look and see. So, and they're kind of down here. That's why they, when they're training in the military, they have their, like the Marks Dwarf or the military, like the recruit designations, and then when they're off duty is when they you'll get their, like, if they're farmer, they'll have their farmer designation. That's how it switches back and forth. So I'm gonna just kind of check out our other dwarves here. So Olan is a woodcutter, has good intuition, but not necessarily great. So probably not good as a military leader, and that's fine. They can stay not as a military leader. We have disdains decorum, poor analytical ability, quarreler, acquiescing. Now I'm a little nervous about that quarreler. I've had so many problems in the past with tantrums, and the world that I had talked about so much that I did kind of off screen started about 3 weeks ago now is my Respect Planks Fortress. I do have a world tour up for that world, so if you're interested in checking it out, that's the Respect Planks World Tour. I am having problems in that world as well with, I've got some people in the orange face, had my first tantrum, and they have that anger prone trait. That anger prone trait I will not put in the military. They just, if they learn how to fight and they go into the orange phase, they just start throwing tantrums. And I did have in one of my early worlds, one of those anger-prone traits was in my military. They became a legendary fighter, and he threw a ton of tantrums. He killed like 1 or 2 dwarves in each tantrum, and at that point, I hadn't done anything with the justice system. I was still kind of new, and they wound up throwing a big tantrum. They killed 10 dwarves and injured 20 more. He was one, kind of luckily, he was one of the ones that died, so I didn't have to continue dealing with his tantrums. But that was still kind of a huge mess. And I really don't want to be teaching the ones that are anger prone and going to be throwing tantrums. I don't want to teach them how to fight. So this one with the coroller, I am nervous about that. But we are in a savage biome. We're not in a very nice biome. So I do kind of, I'm willing to see how this goes. So let's look at a Blell's. And a Blell does have like the green smiley face, so they're actually one of our happiest dwarves. Okay, we have our militia commander, and then let's check out Id. Id is musical. They are a flatterer. They are ambitious. They are agile. They have good spatial sense. Below stamina. Ooh. So I think we'll let Id continue. I'm fine with him getting a little bit of skill as a march dwarf, but we could make Id our commander for our melee squad with a good spatial sense, and they are a flatterer. They are ambitious. So this is actually probably a very good person to put in that for our melee squad. But I'll let them finish sort of training here. So we'll get that up and going come winter. All right. Oh, something we can do actually is come down and we can X out of all of this and go back into and just do the overall crafts. So one we'll be doing out of Gabbro, the other we'll be doing out of Dacite. And honestly, we're going to do a work order for, we'll do, crafts. Rock crafts, we'll do allanite. We'll do 10 allanite rock crafts. Okay. We do have crafts here. We'll do microline. And then, but on the Gabbro and the Dacite, we'll leave those as repeating. Workshops, we're going to come in, we're going to cut 10 gems and let them hit play. $14 dwarves, the 3 tables is probably enough. And actually, this petition was, I think the visiting guy wants to eradicate monsters. We're going to deny. Let's come up and set up our animal area. Okay, so this is workshop. We come down to farming, and this is, let's close the militia squad. This is the vermin catcher shop. I'm going to do 2 of these. We'll do 1 out of Gabbro and 1 out of Cinnabar, I think. Or do we want to do Cobaltite? Cobaltite and Cinnabar, maybe. We could do 3. You know what? That's what we're going to do. So we did our Cinnabar. The Cobaltite and Pyrolusite look very similar. I'll do 1 out of Cobaltite, and then we'll do 1 out of... We'll do Dacite. Now, I don't really know. Okay, we're going to do... Come in to... In animals, we'll do empty cages. Empty cages. We'll do Come down to animals. We'll do empty traps. Now I'm not selecting anything on the right. If you select the stuff on the right, then it would be the traps that have the stuff on the right in them is what it enables. So this is just empty animal trap. And then we are actually going to set up a stockpile for animals. We're going to come down to animal. Oh, no, we're going to. For now we'll do all. So when you select all over here, it's the stuff that's caged, either in traps or cages. We'll do all for now. Caged animals. It includes both. So the vermin are what go in the animal cages, and then like the animals, like our dogs, our peacocks, that type, they go in the cages. Now the giant version, I have no idea. This is completely new for me. The very first world where I kind of messed around with this profession at all was the Respect Planks Fortress. And in that world I did have, a metal working forge and sort of, so they could make the cages right on the spot. I don't think I'm going to set that aspect of it up here. I'm okay with this just being... And yes, there's more space here. We may wind up doing sort of more individual... I think we do have cave spiders, so we may have an individual like cave spider thing. And I know I had read about it before, and I think if you have the cave spiders, you can set up a room where you can release them, so you've got like kind of an industry for the webs. We're getting webs as it is, so I don't feel the need to really do that. And I'm not sure how that works. So this is an industry that I really want to get into. I do want to try to trap a couple of wild elephants. Same with the peregrine falcons. I'd love to try to trap those and tame them. I've never done that before. That is something that I'm going to research. I just don't feel like we're quite ready for it. Oh, one other thing. Labor. I'm going to come down to our animal care labor and see who we have. So Ablel is currently training. And so is our militia commander. Okay. So those two war dogs, that's who we're going to assign them to. Is one to Ablel and one to our militia commander. And we're going to do, you know what? Instead of war, we're actually going to do hunting on both. Except, no, we're not. Those are not the right dogs. None. Sort by name. Come down to our war dogs. These are the two that we're going to train. And I'm actually going to do them as hunting dogs, and I do need to go in and change those names to hunting. Okay, they didn't move them over here. Why? Let's go to them, shall we? Probably because our only two animal care professionals are currently in the military and training. Okay. That's okay. These are both... Oh, yep, there goes the kid moving them. Okay. Let's come down and check out... Yeah, they're still... haven't dug that area. They're still... Are they up here digging? Let's go check out our labor, our miners. One is training, and the others are our administrators. We don't really have any miners outside of the administrators, with the exception of the one that's training. So there's not a whole lot of mining that's going to happen this episode, and that's okay. Let's come up and check on our wall up here. Okay. We'll do the last little bit here. This was Gabbro. Alright. Now we do have Gabbro for the floor. We'll do Gabbro under the door. Okay, perfect. And actually, we do with the floor here, I think we'll do Dacite for the rest of it, and we'll just get this floor kind of in. Dacite. It kind of moves as the number of blocks changes, which is kind of annoying. I wish it would just do alphabetical. Oh, and okay. And we'll set this to a top priority here. The rest of it, they can take their time. That's fine. They are crazy busy. So let's come check out our llamas. We do have, okay, clumsy and high stamina. I am going to hit pause here so that I know which ones. Okay, we have a 4-year-old with low stamina. We have a 1-year-old with recovers quickly and strong. 2-year-old with high stamina and clumsy. And a 2-year-old with tough. So we actually have quite a nice breeding pair. But I think I'm going to get a bit more of an industry here before I start killing off the llamas. Yeah, I don't want to have to ask the traders for more llamas. Okay. We do have a stray boar has been slaughtered. Oh, look at that, our population. Oh, yay! Prepare fine meal has been completed. Lavish meal has been completed, so those were work orders. I'm going to check out the migrants here. Stray kitchen has given birth to kittens. And it called it Stray Kitchen because that's what we relabeled it as. Litast has created a masterpiece earring, and we have masterpiece wood bed. We have Olan and Id have gained skill as a march dwarf. Nice. Okay. This actually more than doubled our population. I was going to wait until winter, and I think we're still going to do that, actually. I'm going to wait till winter to deal with that, but that... Okay. Lots of interesting things happening. I'm going to click on our pen over here and just see if they brought any animals with them that need the okay, yep, they have a pet. And there is a puppy, so we will look at the puppy and see which pen we want to add the puppy to. I'm going to come in through and look at the puppy through here. They are tough, agile, and recover slowly. I mean, 3 traits. Let me go look at... We do have 2 good traits and 1 good trait. You know what? I think we're just going to add the puppy here. So, pet dog pen. And I don't mind letting the male puppies or the male dogs roam around that are pets because if I don't want them as part of the breeding program, I can geld them. We can't do that with the females. And if I don't want them as part of the program, then I don't really want them running around. Okay, we're going to hit play. We're going to come back down. Yes, for about a month here, they're not going to have much to do. I'm doing that on purpose. And you know what? Part of not having much to do might be coming in and finishing these walls, which it does kind of look like that's exactly what they're doing. Let's go see if we have the door yet. And we do. Okay. Now these... Oh, this was, I think, the Dawsite flooring. Which does not look all that different from our Gabbro flooring. But the Gabbro wall, as you can see, it's quite a bit lighter in the wall. And we'll eventually dig the rest of this out and kind of make it pretty with the walls as we get the blocks. But this is still pretty early. Okay. Logan, bookkeeper, has created a high wood bucket. He offers it to the dented craft. Okay. Very exciting. Okay, so I'm going to hit OK. We did not look at this here. They took over one of our crafts. Yeah, let's take a look at it, because I didn't look at what they made it out of. This is a high wood bucket. Value is 1,000. All craft dwarf ship is of the highest quality. This object is adorned with hanging rings of high wood. Cool. I don't think we can build just a bucket, but we might do like a special workshop out of that has the artifact as the bucket built in. For like, say our Ashery, I think needs a bucket, or the Dyers might need a bucket. So we could do a special workshop with that. That's cool. Okay. Very exciting. I will hit play. We're just going to let them get through. This is their last month of the training, which I want to let them get through, and then we're going to move id over to our leader of our military, our melee military, and then we can go through the migrants. All right, they've made a wood bit. Oh, that was our bookkeeper. Who was already, I think, yeah, they're assigned to our wood, so they were already, they are a Grandmaster Carpenter. They were High Master, I think last time we looked. Grandmaster, they've been making all of our wood stuff. They did not gain any skill for that, I don't think. And it did not make them legendary. Not all artifacts do. It seems to be maybe a third of them will give the legendary skill. It's not guaranteed to give the legendary skill. But let's see here. He used accepting, remembering, experiencing trauma. I think our bookkeeper was one of the ones who was hurt. And yeah, it looks like the thread and the cloth are gone. Alright. So we'll hit play here. I'm glad we came in and finished taking off the artifact quality here. Oh, you know what? We do need to come in and we need to remove all of the cages. We're just going to do none. All of that is moving to a different location. That's all up here, so they're going to haul all of that up here. Now, our workshops here are not getting built because our only two in the animal care industry are in our military, and they're currently busy with the training, which is why those are not getting built. As soon as they're available, they'll come get those built, and we could potentially have. Oh no! Look at all the kids. It's not a bad thing to have all the kids. They help with the hauling, but we just can't assign them to stuff, and that's a lot of kids. That being said, I do think we are going to next episode also set up. We have our wood floor set to be dug out. They're not currently digging it because we only have the one miner that's not super busy, and he's currently training. But we do have our wood floor sort of planned and set, and I think this is another one where we're going to dig, and we don't necessarily have to set up the dining hall. But I think this is the floor we would set up the dining hall. This will be a permanent dining hall, and this is going to be the floor where all the kids have their bedrooms. We can start setting that up. It's fairly easy to get those bedrooms set up. They are getting the beds done. He is working on our weapon racks and armor racks. You know what? I think we are going to come up and we are going to look at the beds here. So pretty much all of our high quality beds here are getting placed in the dorm. That masterwork bed we're going to save for a bedroom. We do have a couple of masterwork beds. Okay, cool. Alright, and that being said, we are actually going to set this to dig out as well, since we are going to be having the military squad set up as well. We need an area for them to come train. And then we do have a couple more beds here. So furniture, we're going to do we'll do the low quality beds here. Okay, so we do have 3 masterwork beds. Which I'm going to come look at our beds. Okay, so I'm going to remove this one. I'm going to remove this one. And then that should do it. So we're going to put 2 of those masterwork beds here, and then we'll save one for our bedroom for our militia commander here as it gets dug. So we're going to hit play. We're going to let them... Oh, it does look like there's a couple of people mining. Oh. They came in as a miner, I think. Yeah. Erish. And somebody else is mining. Okay. Which I'm okay getting this stuff dug. This will be a separate episode, I think. I don't... You know, I could set this up this episode. This is a lot of a ton of stockpile management in here. Honestly, what I might do is in between episodes set this up, and then I can go in and show you kind of what I do, because this is tedious. It will probably take me about a half an hour to set up all of these stockpiles, and I just don't think that that's, you know, great content. So, you know, what I could do is start setting it up here on camera and sort of show you what the process is going to be, and then I can finish setting it up in between episodes, and I can come in and show you sort of all the... Like, this is going to be full of stockpiles. I'm torn whether I'm going to do it 100% on camera or not. We'll see how it goes. Okay, there they go. Off mining. Okay, so they're going to get our barracks mined out. Nice. So we're going to give it 4 more days here. And just let winter happen. And... we have... Did I shut buckets off of our stockpile here? View stockpile. Shut buckets off. No, I did not. We do have buckets down here. I'm going to double check the quality on the buckets. There's winter. Because I want to make sure that artifact bucket is going into the artifact pile. The fact that they gave it to our kingdom to use means they will, as they're using buckets, I think use the artifact bucket. I think that's how that works. And that is how it worked with, I've had artifact toys, I've had artifact mugs, artifact instruments. Like they take it and they use it. Okay, so we're going to pause. I am going to check the buckets. Core quality. Oh, we do have artifact. Oops. Did I shut artifact off of bins and barrels? I did. Okay, so I just did not shut it off. So, let's see here. I'm going to scroll over and see. So far, sort of normal. Yeah, there's our artifact bucket. Oops. Okay. So I'm going to check all of our alerts here on the left, and then we're going to get into the migrants and probably end the episode there. So Parad is visiting. We're going to get a petition for the eradicating monsters, most likely. When it says, like Maceman, when it says some sort of military thing after their name, that's why they're coming, is to eradicate monsters in the caverns. Sometimes it might be for like demonstrations in the military, but for the most part, I think it's for the petitions. Id and Olan. So Id and Olan were in Autumn, part of our military, and they were training. Here where it says they've become a miner and a woodcutter, they've gone back from, if we go into our military, they will be miner and woodcutter. They won't be down under the Marked Dwarf designation anymore. If you'll notice, we don't have any Marked Dwarfs. It's like all of them came back up, and they're kind of up in here again. So Id, yep, there's our miner for Id, and then Olan was our woodcutter. Okay. We have winter has arrived on the calendar. You have struck pyroluscites. Litast has made a whole bunch of masterpiece. So they've just got nice high skill. And let's go check out Litast is our broker, and they are a master stone crafter. So they're getting close to being legendary, which is nice. Okay. Stray dog has given birth to puppies. Okay, we'll go check that out. Okay, we're going to do guild. We'll do pet dog. Once they guild him, we'll set him available as being available as a pet. Nice. We're going to leave. This is a puppy with 2 green traits. We're going to leave them in this room as part of the program. Same with this puppy. Nice. And guild, I think, yes. because we have another male that has 2 traits, we don't need a ton of the males in the program. And this one we're going to do for resist sicknesses. I think we are going to do War Dog on that. Yeah. Hunting dog, maybe. Okay, so we do just have the one pair of parents. So I think once this puppy here, this male puppy, grows to be an adult, then we'll move this guy over and get him trained as a war or hunting dog. And we do have these animals are over here. I'm going to wait until they're trained, and then we'll get them assigned. Oh, all right, we're leaving it paused. Okay, so we have lots of work orders have been completed. Ooh, the Kimberlite. So he must be working on, yeah, the weapon rack. Okay, so we'll wait for the last weapon rack before we go and place all of those. Logum, yep, the artifact, and then Logum, bookkeeper cancels make bed, taken by mood. That was our artifact. Okay, so now we're going to come in and we're going to finish checking out our dwarves here. So we were going to go in and make id our, and I think we're going to do that right now. Nobles and administrators, we're going to do sheriff. Sheriff, I believe, turns into captain of the guard as population goes up. And we're going to do id. And then we're going to come in here to id. We're going to remove assignment. We're going to go back to squads. We're going to create a new squad. We're going to do melee metal armor. And assign leader. As id. Back to squads. Okay. So the background we're going to do, I think we're going to do Allanite furniture for this guy, which means the symbol we need to make a different color. Let's make the symbol a little darker. And you know what? We're going to do the star. So the arrow symbol will be for any, I'll do the arrow symbol for any archer. And then the star I'm doing, for sheriff for now, but it will become captain of the guard. They're in charge of your justice system. So this is the squad that will be in charge of the justice system. Okay. So we do have a new miner. Let's just go in and check our miner out. So Erish is a competent miner. They are an adequate animal trainer. Ooh. Adequate cook, adequate gem cutter, adequate soaper. So they are impatient with developed empathy. They value power, disdains fairness, disdains commerce. I don't think we're going to add them to our military, but we are going to add them to animal training and farming. So farming and animal care. And we're actually going to assign those dogs so instead of our militia commander, I think we'll be giving some skill here to our animal trainer that actually has some skill in it. They were also, let's go in and we're an adequate cook and an adequate soaper. So I'm going to come into our, so we do have 2 adequate cooks and 1 novice cook and a skilled cook. So I think we'll leave this at the skill for novice skill. So anyone that has novice skill or higher in cooking can come and do our cooking, is what is kind of the idea there. All right, our woodcutter, we're still going to leave them on woodcutting because we just need somebody outside doing our woodcutting. Which, speaking of which, let's come up and see. Yeah, they still have some woodcutting to come do. But now that this is gone, I think we are going to, oops, that the trader is gone, we're going to set this for wood cutting. And then once these trees are cut, then we'll come in and start laying down some walls and things like that. We will set some channeling up here, so we're going to channel these, or we're going to channel these, and then we'll channel one more over here. And one right there. We're basically just kind of squaring things off in here so that we can get a nice little enclosed area. Which we'll add a new work order here for, let's get some more Gabbro blocks as well. So Gabbro blocks we'll do Gabbro, and we'll do 40. Let's click on our expedition leader here. So they did have an unmet need to craft, which has been met now. So I think we are going to come in and we're going to take our expedition leader off. He is a novice stonecutter, so we are going to come in. We're going to set this to novice. So anyone with novice skill in stonecutting can come in and make our rock blocks, and that will kind of free up our expedition leader. But our expedition leader, if he wants to come craft, can. Is kind of the idea. Okay. So our woodcutter is good. So our stoneworker, we do have a couple of, and I'm going to see if we can leave them in the blacksmithing this time. Adequate blacksmith, and they are novice in all the fish stuff. Okay, so creative, they do have high stamina. They are impatient with poor spatial sense. The high stamina would be good for the military, but impatient and poor spatial sense are not good for the military. They disdain hard work, and they are private, and they do have a spouse. So I think I am going to not put them in the military. We're going to come down, we're going to add them to both metal smithing and fishery work. Okay. We're going to check out our weaponsmith here. We do have an adequate weaponsmith who values perseverance, has poor spatial sense. They are anger prone, so no military. Disdains skill, thoughtless, disdains commerce. So we're going to come in and we're just going to add them to metalsmithing. Okay. That person is not going to have a whole lot to do. Okay, let's see. We have several fishery workers. Let's see here. Vukar values fairness. They are patient. They disdain competition. They have good intuition. They are curious and poor analytical ability. This person is potentially decent for our military. They have good intuition and they are patient and they value fairness. They do have poor analytical ability. I am adding them to the military. I'm just debating which squad. The sheriff's squad, yes, it is a melee squad, but I'm not going to put anyone in there who will not be good for the justice system. And this person, everything else, I think they'd be great for the justice system. The poor analytical ability, I think that just means like they can't really be a leader, which is fine. So I think I'm going to add Vukar over here. So Vukar, after 11. Okay. And let's go back into Booker here. And they are novice fish cleaner. I'm just debating if we can add them as something else. Sort of my early priorities here are going to be digging out some spaces for planting and getting planting up and running, and just moving a lot of our industries underground. So honestly, I think I'm going to add them to mining, and we'll leave them also as a fishery worker, because we need more miners. We really do. Which, let me actually go look at our weapon bin here. We do still have only a couple of copper picks. Okay. We do have a steel pick and another copper pick. Okay, so we do actually have quite a few picks. All right, because we just want to get some stuff mined out. But so normally I like to get my stockpiles dug for like the stone and metal ores, and sort of get my permanent stockpiles dug. But I think I do have a theory for the planting, so I do really want some bigger mining projects here. So I'm just going to try to get that, mining guild up and running and have that be our first guild. We do have a fish cleaner. They are an adequate fish cleaner and an adequate guilder. They disdain self-control. They are fact-oriented, recover quickly. They have poor empathy. They are patient, and they are extravagant. This person is probably not bad for the military. And they are an adequate fish cleaner and adequate guilder. The poor empathy is probably not great for the military, so I don't think I want to add them here, but I think I'm going to add them here. I'm going to add Ming to our archers. And then we're also going to add Ming to fishing and farming. And they are an adequate guilder, so we are actually going to come into one of our workshops here and actually, we did not want this to be a butcher shop. We do have an alligator mangled skull. We don't have anywhere for the skulls to go currently. I think they do the farming at the, or they do the gilding at the farming shop. I don't know. We're gonna cancel removal. Because I don't really want them. Yeah, that's what it is. I need to do a farming workshop in here for the gilding. But you know what? There's no reason I suppose that can't go down here. Except I kind of want it up here. Yeah, I'm just going to remove this butcher and we're going to replace that with the farming shop and get that assigned to our guilder, which is why I was looking at it right there. Okay, keep coming down. We have a fisher dwarf. Let's look at our fisher dwarf. So they are an adequate fisher dwarf. They disdain friendship. They are quick to love. They have low willpower. They are strong, creative, and slow to anger. They are an adequate fisher dwarf. We'll leave them as fishing. I think we'll also perhaps add them to. Can we do both? Yes, we can. So plant gather. So they're an outdoor dwarf. Nice. And they are. Did we set up? I forget. Yeah, we did set up a fishing zone. That's where they're at. Is that they are out fishing. Lungfish remains. Okay. At some point, we'll get out here. We'll build a bridge so they can cross the river. That's just not quite a high priority. Let's keep coming down. So Nish is a farmer. Okay, so we have another farmer. They are a novice brewer, novice cook, and novice spinner. Nice. They do have the spinning skill. They are also novice organizer and record keeper. So we are going to add them to the farming industry. Novice brewer, novice cook. Let me come down and look at. Actually, I can look at it through labor. I'm going to look at through farming here. We have an adequate brewer in Nish and a novice brewer. I think I'm going to leave Nish assigned to the still. And then this guy we can set up. I'm going to come up to spinning here. And we will assign. Yeah, adequate gelder. So we definitely need to switch that to this workshop. We do have, we have a competent spinner. So we'll add competent spinner here. Okay. So we have two spinners, and we'll assign both of them to a workshop. So the competent spinner will assign. No, what am I doing? The novice spinner will assign here. And we will go ahead and set up a work order. We will do spin thread. We'll do 1. We'll have them repeat to check daily. Spinner workshop. And then yeah, they're coming into. We're going to assign the Gelder their own workshop. And this will assign to the competent spinner. We'll do work order, spin thread. We'll do 1 and restart if completed. Check daily. We'll do legendary spinner. So we need to make sure to add that spinner. They are a competent spinner, novice tanner, novice brewer. Low self-esteem, depression prone. So depression prone and poor spatial sense, not good for the military. But we will come down and we will add them to farming. Very nice. So we have our cook, who is an adequate cook. They have good focus, high kinesthetic sense, values stoicism, disdains tranquility, are artistically inclined, and tough. Oh, this person's going to be fabulous for our military. We will add them to farming. We're also going to Kivish, assign them to the sheriff's squad. Nice. A blow. Are they legend? What are they legendary? Let's go look at their other skills. So legendary means they're legendary in something. Or like the name flashing that, or at least that's my understanding. They're a legendary tracker. Ah. Okay. So labor, we do have them on plant gathering. I think we can only do... Let's go in and check out hunting and see if... I don't know if the tracking is part of the hunting thing. It is not. But they are a competent Marks Dwarf and Novice English. So when we do actually get them back to hunting... which actually I think we're going to do. We're going to add them back to hunting. It is winter. Get them hunting. So we do have a couple of herbalists now. Okay. And then we have an administrator who came in who is a novice organizer. They are high social awareness, strong, recovers quickly, tough, poor focus, good special sense. Fantastic for the military. The poor focus means they're not going to be great at... I think poor focus is not great for like organizing ability. But they're going to be great in the military. And then they're basically... we can assign them to whatever we want. Which, honestly, we're going to do mining. And then we're going to assign them to... so that is Esm. Nice. So they are assigned to our military squad. And we do have... so we don't have anyone assigned to planting. Which, let's go look at our cook here. So we do have... they are an adequate cook. I'm kind of okay. You know, we'll also add them to plant, so that we've got somebody with the planting skill enabled. They're going to be busy, most likely with cooking, and between that and the military, like, we're going to want somebody who's not in the military probably as a planter as well. Which, you know what? Esm will add as a planter as well, I think. No, you know what? We're going to add Esm to stoneworking. Stone cutting, engraving. Like, we're just going to kind of help relieve some of the pressure off of those fields. For right now, there's not a ton for them to do, so they're probably going to be in... you know what? I'll leave them in the stoneworking. We'll add them to stone cutting later. I want them right now mining, because we do have some big mining projects coming out. Okay. I'm going to hit play here. I really just kind of want our guy to finish our work order here. And then we'll get that barracks furnished and finish up here. Okay, perfect. So now we're going to pause, and we're going to come up and start getting... so we are going to do weapon rack on the top here. And then we'll do armor stand along the bottom here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, a full furnishing, you know, we have the bed, we'll have a chest, and then a weapon rack and armor rack, one for each member of the squad. That is why I have the design set up this way. This bigger room is sort of the dance floor that they need for their training, and then they have the archery range. Let's come down, and we're going to make some more beds. We're going to do work order for some beds here. 10. Okay, let's get some beds back in these rooms here. So we'll do a cashew bed there. I'm just doing the higher quality beds here. Okay. I mean, it looks like we did have, so we do have a couple of the lower quality beds. Nice. Get a couple more beds in our dormitory. Go ahead, play. If this guy was in there. Human Mace Man. Okay, so he's a visitor with nothing to do. He is here to eradicate monsters yet tonight. Okay, the Kimberlite weapon racks have been completed. We have a masterpiece, Allanite amulet. An animal has become a stray hunting dog. And some migrants. Okay, we finished going through the migrants. Oh, we do need to get our switch over to see, we've got a stray hunting dog and I think a pet. Get them moved. Okay. So we do have a hunting dog that we can actually get assigned now. They are trained, so I'm going to go in and remove trainer. We'll go none. And we can assign them here with this button. I think we'll get them assigned to Jurist, our militia commander. And now the name is changed, and they will... I'm actually going to uncheck them from this so they can go out. Basically, the dogs that get moved here, they will not get released from this pen until they are gelded and or trained. I have had in my Respect Planks world, I did have a dog that I had set to become a pet, but it didn't get gelded first, and they are still set to be geld, but they're just not gelding it, and I'm wondering if that's because they've been claimed and the owner is preventing it, or if it got bugged. Like, I don't know how that works, but so I'm just making sure that before they're allowed to adopt as a pet or they're trained, I'm just making sure they get gelded first. Okay. And again, if you want to see my Respect Blanks fortress, that was the fortress that I have done the best in. I just had the best start, and I am fully set up in that fortress. My population is 207. I have every dwarf has a bedroom. I literally have every single craft out. There are still a couple of crafts that I haven't gotten into and dug into. One of them is cloth and leather like crafts. I've never made those. I'm going to do that in that world. And another one I think is cavern related. I do have the caverns unlocked, but I haven't really dove into the caverns, and I'm going to do that in my Respect Planks world. But if you just want to see sort of my setup, I do have that Respect Planks world tour that you can go check out the setup. I think I'm going to end the video here. It is... I don't want to get a whole lot longer. There is more stuff that, you know, I kind of want to get set up here. I want to start getting some of the bedrooms done and sort of get this floor finished up. But I think that's a good goal for our next episode. So this is Milani. If you like the video, please thumbs up it. If you like what I'm producing, please subscribe to the channel, and we will see you next episode.